Welcome back to today's lesson, another series for today. This is where we make math very fun for everybody. And in today's lesson also, we want to make it very fun for us. And what we are considering in this lesson for today is addition and subtraction of decimal. Now, when you talk about addition and subtraction of decimal, what are the basic things that you need to very put into consideration? Now, when working out addition and subtraction with decimal, it is convenient to align. That word align is very important. As you can see, to align, very important. The digits having the same place value in the same column. Now, when you are given your exercise under addition and subtraction of decimal, for instance, I'm having, let's say for example, you have 2.8752 plus 25.872. Now, for you to add this number, you can see that in this first number, you are having the whole number part being just units. And in the second part, you are having the whole number part being tens and units. So for you to add this number conveniently, you have to align the decimal point. That means I'm having two decimal points here. This is the first decimal point and this is the second decimal point. In the first decimal point, what is the whole number that I have? I'm having 2 being the unit. Then for the decimal, I have 8752. Now, you have the second number to add with it. This is units and tens. This is your unit. This 5 is your unit, and this 2 is your tens. So the 5 will come under the unit, and you have 5. Then you have your 2 here. That's why I say the decimal point must be aligned. Then you have the other number, 872. Then you can add this number. You cannot say because you are having it and you want to align it to be on each other. No, the decimal point will justify the addition and subtraction. In this case, you can add directly. This is 2. Despite the fact there is no number here, you can add 0. 0 after the decimal point has nothing to do with it. Then you are having it 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 7, 14. Normal thing. 8 plus 8 plus 1, 16. That's 17. Then you put your 1 here as well. That's 1 plus 2 plus 5, and that is 8. And you have this. So this is your answer. The major thing you need to understand is to align your decimal points when you are adding. And the same thing goes around when you are also doing your subtraction. In the case of subtraction, very fast, let's consider what we have there. For you to subtract number in decimal, probably you have 482.53 minus 24.375. Now, as you can see, for you to subtract this number, you are going to consider the same thing. You are having 2 decimal points there. Your first decimal point and your second decimal point. In your first decimal point, what do you have? This is your unit, your tens and hundreds. So you have 482.53. Now you want to subtract this number from it. And this is your unit and this is your tens. So under the unit, you have your 4. Under the tens, you have your 2. And here you are having decimal point. This is 10, this is 100, this is 1000. So it comes like that. This is your 10, 375. And you do your subtraction. In this case now you can see you are having an empty space there. What you need to do is to introduce 0 there. 0 minus 5 is impossible. You borrow 1 from here. This is 2, 10. And this is what? 5. 2 minus 7, impossible. You borrow 1 from here. This is 4. This is 1. That's 12 minus 7. That is 5. And this is 4 minus 3, 1. Your decimal point in alignment. Remember, it must be aligned. Then this is 2 minus 4, impossible. Borrow 1 from here. 7, 12. 12 minus 4, that's 8. Then 7 minus 2, that is 5. And this is 4. So you can see how easy it is and how fun it is to subtract number with it, to do with the addition and subtraction of decimal. The major thing is to align your decimal and you get your answer correctly. Now again, we have here multiplication and division of decimal. How will you multiply your decimal and how will you divide your decimal? It's a little bit quite different from the case of addition and subtraction. This is addition, and this is addition and subtraction, this is multiplication and division. But as you can have it here, we are also going to see how to apply what we have here in solving various examples that we are going to see. And when we talk about multiplication, Now, when a decimal multiplicand, now this is the number that you want to multiply another decimal number with, is multiplied by another decimal multiplier. Multiplier is what is, for instance, let's see what we have here under that. In this case, I'm having, for instance, if I have 2 times 4, 2 here is my multiplicand, and this is multiplier. So I'm having this as my multiplicand, and this is my what? Multiplier. So I'm just using whole number now to demonstrate this. In this case, this is what? My result, 8. But in the case of decimal, when you have decimal number and you want to multiply, what are we going to do? For instance, I'm having 2.5 multiplied by 1.8. 2.5 multiplied by 1.8. This is multiplication. How will you multiply this? Now, you can see what we have there. We compose the product as whole number. We compose the product as whole number and then determine the decimal point in accordance with the decimal place in both multiplicand and multiplier. Now, what do we do in this case? Look at this number. This is 2.5. And multiplication, as an example that I want to consider, we are having 2.5 multiplied by 1.8. Now, for us to do this based on multiplication with decimal numbers, you are going to remove your decimal points. This has 1 decimal point, and this also has 1 decimal point. Now, keep your 1 decimal point. 1 decimal point plus 1 decimal point. This is 2 decimal points. Now, when you are doing your multiplication, you have to remove your decimal points, and that means you are having 25 multiplied by 18. Now, can we see? 8 times 5 is 40. That means 0, your 4 here. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 16 plus 4. That's 20. Then you have your 1 times 5 is 5. And here 1 times 2 is 2. Then this is 0, this is 5, and this is 4. You are having your answer as well, 450. That means 25 multiplied by 18 is equal to 450. But how many decimal places do you have in 2.5? It is 1. In 1.8, it is 1. Then our answer is going to be, you have your answer as 450. You are going to move your decimal point twice. 1, 2. That means the answer is going to be 4.50 or simply 4.5. So, because you are having 1 decimal point here, 1 decimal place and 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place plus 1 decimal place give us 2 decimal place. So when you get your answer without decimal, you have to move your decimal point twice. You are moving from the right to the left. 1, 2. As you can see, 1, 2. And that's where you have your answer. So this is how you do multiplication of decimal numbers. Now, in the case of division of decimal numbers, something very similar you are going to do. Now, in case of division, as we have it here, when you are dividing decimal numbers, what are we going to look at? Very similar to the case of multiplication of decimal number. In the case of division of decimal numbers, as you can see, when you are given a number to divide, then you have to dividend. For instance, I'm having 2.4 divided by 0.8. 2.4 divided by 0.8. Now, this is your dividend, and this is your divisor. Then you have your answer being the quotient. Then if you have the remainder, you have it there. That means when you are having your dividend divided by your divisor, you have your quotient. Now, for you to get this answer right, in the case of decimal, you are going to make your divisor, which is your 0.8. So I'm having it this way, 2.4 divided by 0.8. This is my divisor, this is my dividend. Now I want to make my divisor whole number. Now for me to make it whole number, I'm going to move my decimal point 1. And once I do this, once I move the decimal point 1, that means this number becomes 8. I will come to the dividend and do the same thing. I also move my decimal number 1. So when I do that, what am I having? I'm having here 24 divided by 8. And that gives me what? 3. That's the final answer. So, in case you're having another example, parameter you're having 3.2 divided by 0.04. 3.2 divided by 0.04. Can we look at this? How do we divide this? Now you're having 3.2 over 0.04. Now, you want to make your divisor, which is 0.04, a whole number. That means you are going to move a decimal point 1, 2 to make it 4. Now, once you move a decimal point 2, you have to come here and move a decimal point also 1, 2. Now you're having an empty space there, then you introduce 0. So this one becomes 320 divided by 4. So 4 goes there 1, 4 goes there 8, and that is what? 80. That's your answer. So that is how you do your division. What you need to understand is that you have to move your decimal point on the divisor. The number of times you are moving your decimal point on the divisor, which is your denominator, will also determine the number of points you are going to move from your what? Numerator, which is your dividend. Also, for instance, let's say I'm having a question like this, 0.64 divided by 0.016. I want to do this division. Now, another thing you can do is that if you're having 0.64 divided by 0.016, how will you divide that? Now, after your decimal, how many digits do you have there? 1, 2, 3. You can say this multiplied by 1,000, 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. Then you come to the numerator also and do the same thing. 1,000. So what will that give us? If you look at this, this is going to be 6, 4, 1, 2, 0. And this one gives us what? 16. Then you do your division. 16 goes there 1, 16 goes there, that's 4. The answer is what? 40. So this is how you work out your decimal and your multiplication number. I hope you are able to find this class very fun. And for you to get more information about this class or what we have explained so far for this in this class, you can subscribe to our channel, and you can see various means of communicating with us via our WhatsApp number. If you have any question personally, you want us to attend to your question, feel free, and we make math very fun for you. Thank you.